Hello, 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 one and all. It is us in full swing. The trio has reemerged. Technically, at this moment, we are your Sunday morning Wrestlemaniacs, but commonly we are known as your Saturday night Wrestlemaniacs. We've got a special show coming, as you can see right behind me, to talk and discuss about AEW Full Gear. This is our reaction show to everything that just happened, and in typical AEW fashion, a nice long one. They make sure you get your money's worth out of it. So as you can see, we got the big guy KG, People's Choice, Don Rodriguez back in the house, and back from sabbatical, out on special assignment, pouring it, getting ready to smoke it up, the Nubian Sumo. So in normal tradition, we're going to go ahead and slide over to Sumo to tell us exactly what he just fired up and what he just poured.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. It has been a little while since you've seen me last. Been enjoyed my homecoming, my college homecoming a couple of weeks ago, and my school suffered a loss to Howard University last week, and we wound up beating Delaware State this week, but Howard beat Morgan State, so Howard University will be going to the Celebration Bowl this year, and we were not able to win our conference championship this year. But have no fear, because we are at this point ranked number 14th in the nation in the football championship subdivision, looking to raise up to at least the top 10 after the win today, and looking for an at-large bid for the FCS playoffs, which will probably start in the next couple of weeks. So I'll keep you posted on that. Now, tonight, I went with a little short one here. The My Father 1922 LeBijou. Very nice stick, very not too big of a stick. Usually I go with the church heel, but today I'm going with a little Robusto. And then I'm also dabbling in the Jefferson Ocean Rye tonight. And we are right now on the midst of watching Full Gear. We're going to get into that right now. So, gentlemen, what y'all think about the pay-per-view?
I'm going to go ahead and just call a spade a spade. Coming out of Kia Forum tonight, this is actually one of the best pay-per-views that AEW has done in a while. Dare I say it, maybe a close best of 2023. Wasn't expecting it to be that good. We'll see what the consensus is on what everybody's match of the night is. Mine may be a little bit shocking. Definitely wasn't expecting it to be this particular match, but I was pleasantly surprised considering, AEW fashion, how long it was, starting from 8, ending at midnight. But you get your money's worth when it comes down to getting it as a
started at 6:30.
Well, we're not even going to count that, because at that point then we start getting the disrespectful times. I was like, God dang, that's a lot. You're going to actually have to eat dinner at the venue because it's that damn long. So,
they started pre-show at 6:30. They started the pre-show matches at 7:00, and you had like 3 pre-show matches.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a long day for folks over there. But that's AEW for you.
But then again, for those in attendance, it is in LA, so it was an early day. So they're still got time left in their day. They haven't even crossed over in the midnight yet. So it works for them. Tired as hell for everybody else. But KG, what's your thoughts?
I'm in agreement with everybody else. That was a long damn pay-per-view. And what's going on, Raj? Glad you could be here tonight.
Yep.
That was a long pay-per-view. Like, I was just like, damn. And the thing is, I didn't have eyes on it like everybody else. I was keeping up on Twitter and Instagram and Bleacher Report and everything, but I got to see some things. But geez, didn't they learn anything from WWE with these long ass pay-per-views? You lose the crowd after a while.
Well,
But
I don't know. I think they
you
kept
got a
the
good
crowd.
product, you can do that. And tonight was a good product.
Yeah. So we're just gonna jump straight into it.
Yeah.
So coming out of LA, Kia
Yeah.
Forum. What do you say, James?
I said, yeah, tonight was a good product. Yeah, it kept me interested. I must say that's good as opposed to some of the other ones that they've had this year. So yeah.
Well, they had a running theme. The running theme being what's going to happen with MJF. So, as you was talking about in the buy-in, we had MJF get attacked after the match, retaining him and Samoa Joe with RH Tag Team Championships. MJF was attacked by the Gun Club, and in typical wrestling storyline fashion, he had to go to the hospital, and the title was up for grabs, and not sure what's going to happen between the match that was booked for him and Jay White, and Adam Cole kind of gets in the mix of it and becomes de facto title defender. So that's the pre-show. That's the buy-in. And then we roll into the actual show, and we started with a banger. Christian Cage, super over, arguably, in my opinion, the best he's ever been, and almost makes me want to go out and get to a gym so I can start wearing a turtleneck. So it was him, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne versus the team of Edge, Sting on his glory run, and Darby Allin with the Nature Boy Ric Flair doing Nate things as only Nate can do. So you could pretty much call a spade on this one. Edge, Sting, and Darby won the match with Nate. However, Christian lost no steam. Luchasaurus is Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne had a good showing. So we still have strong potential for Christian versus Edge because there was no payoff, there was no climax in that match between those two superstars. So I think they did a good job of telling the story, keeping it going, giving us another little placeholder. The road for Sting, this is the first one match that he's had with Nature Boy by his side. And, we just told the tale of Edge versus Christian with just other supporting players. So if I had to grade it, and I think this will be something we'll do for this pay-per-view, since we're pretty much calling it pretty damn good, I'd give it about a B. I don't think we've graded a match or pay-per-views in a long time. We've done overall. We haven't done by match. So it's been a minute. So we've kind of calling something back at this point. What's your thoughts, James?
Yeah, I agree. There was a very entertaining match, a good first match to open the main card of the show with. B is fair. I could have gone without the Ric Flair part of it, but I see that they're gonna try to play this Ric Flair thing like he's going to be the one that is in the match for his Sting's retirement match, because that's what they're trying to push toward. I'm hoping that that's not the case. I get a lot of people. I get folks who have been talking to me, talking about he wants to die in the ring, and he has said that he does want to die in the ring. And I wouldn't put it past Tony Khan to give him his wish, but I don't. That's not something that needs to happen or we need to see. So, like I said, I could go without the Ric Flair part of the match, but yeah, I give it a solid B, like you said.
KG?
It's funny that the Nubian Sumo said that, because 2 weeks ago we were talking about booking Sting's retirement match, and we were kicking around the idea of only way to do it is if it's Nature Boy. That's NWA days, mid '80s. That's we kick it back to that. We were called Madmen. We were called.
See, it would be all right if Flair was a 73. I think he is now. I mean, he's in his low to mid 70s. You know, it's almost like a damn temperature and shit. But
wait, hold on. Mae Young and the Fabulous Moolah took bumps all the way up until almost 80. So come on now.
yeah, but May having a damn heart attack and almost dying.
And she still came back and took more.
Mae Young and Moolah didn't have their last match, and then all of a sudden they got to have another match in Puerto Rico the next week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look. I grew up the biggest Ric Flair fan in the world. You know what I'm saying? But now, every day he just loses his luster with me. I'm just ready to see him sit down somewhere. I'm sorry. All this Ric Flair trip and with Ric Flair woo energy and all this and that, you know, just Ric Flair wings and all. Just go sit your monkey ass down somewhere.
Hey, let that man get his Foreman grill on.
You gotta keep yourself.
Let him get his car shield.
You gotta market.
You gotta keep the brand alive.
Yo.
Plus the fact, Sting needs to wrestle somebody in his last match where he passes the baton. He passes the torch.
And it cannot be Darby Allin.
It should not be Darby Allin, in my opinion. No. Darby Allin is already established. You know, this needs to go to somebody that needs the rub, that needs to push. If I'm gonna give it to somebody, I'm gonna give it to Nick Wayne.
No, he's too young.
No, he's actually the right age. He's coming in. He needs to push. He needs something to put him over. He hasn't done anything that has really put him over the top.
He's in the same spot. He's in the same spot as Roman Reigns post Shield. If Undertaker wanted would have happened, and he would have dropped the streak to Roman. Roman was not ready to take the streak to the next level, to take that and move it to the next level. Nick Wayne is kind of in the same thing. Now, if the streak was still happening and current Roman would have beat The Undertaker, that'd be a no-brainer. They'd be like, well, yeah, it would make sense.
It would be a waste.
It would be, well, I mean, people say Brock Lesnar was a waste, but that made sense. You know, if there's anybody physically that could do it, it'd be Brock Lesnar.
See, there's still speculation about what happened with Brock, though.
Well, I'm just going off of what the Undertaker said out of his own mouth.
I'm going off what Paul Heyman said out of his mouth.
Yeah, but Paul Heyman
that he went into business for himself.
Paul Heyman is entertaining. Paul Heyman is entertaining right now. So he's admittedly giving you conspiracy theory and fact at the same time. But the difference between what Heyman is saying and what Taker is saying is Taker is like, look, the character is done. I'll pull back the curtain. And here's the information I would like to share. This is very generous. Thank you. So, you know, taking it from the one of two people that could tell the truth on the matter and have it be cut and dry, that's one Taker, two Vince McMahon. You know, that's the two strong go-aheads. You know, because Brock wasn't going to take the streak because that'd been a misunderstanding in the back. So, you know, allegedly, well, according to Taker, it was Vince's call, and Brock was the guy. But if Roman would have been a guy, it would have been wasted at that time. And I think Nick Wayne is just too young to really be able to catapult as a character because he doesn't have a character yet. He's just Nick Wayne.
This would give him the character. Man that retired Sting. He could ride that for a while.
Nah, I don't know. He can't even talk. If anybody, in my opinion, in current AEW, it would be Christian. Not that Christian really needs it, but somebody that could take that elevation from longevity that has been, you know, from tag team, you know, gold to obscurity, second best to Edge, to, okay, he's just a jobber, to now we fired him. Now he's got a main event thing. Now Edge is back. And, it's like, well, is Edge going to overshadow Christian again? Now they're in a program together immediately, when Edge and Christian, in my opinion, should not be in an immediate program, because now you're trying to overshadow Christian. But Christian, thankfully, has established himself to be strong enough to hold it. But beating Sting and then going into a super match at Revolution down the road, August of next year, against Edge, that gives him some strong momentum. That gives him something to promo about, things like that, instead of just jabbing at, hey, how's Beth? How's the kids? Lyric this, whatever. He's got something solid. He could dump Luchasaurus. He could dump Nick Wayne. I beat Sting. I don't need none of y'all. And then the icing on the cake, if I was booking it, Darby would turn on Sting. So it would end up being almost like a full flip. Nick Wayne comes to his senses, realizes that Sting is an icon. I can't do that to Sting. Darby ends up turning on Sting, and Luchasaurus is whatever. By that point, Jungle Boy may be back, and then, he ends up back with Jungle Boy. That's what I would do. Outside of that, the only other person, maybe Swerve.
Christian was my second pick, so I can agree. I can actually kind of agree with you on the Christian part. Swerve, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Yeah, I can see. Now that I think about it, I could see Swerve in that position too.
Because I can see Prince Nana doing the Swerve dance, holding Sting's bat. Just a subtle reminder that the streak was broken in that theory or in that thought process. KG, you have anybody that you think maybe could defeat Sting for his last match and take that to the next level?
Nature Boy. But no, I get what you're saying, Sumo, and I get what Rod's saying. He's saying, Nature needs to sit down. Yeah, if it's a health thing, yeah. But it's got to be somebody that has sustainability. You can't be somebody that's also on their way out. Because think about it, and Rod said he agrees with Swerve. Think about this. When Shawn Michaels retired Nature Boy, a year later to the day, he was literally retired by the Undertaker. You beat. That's if Sting goes out on his back. If he's not going out on his back, pick somebody that can do 15, 20 minutes and put on the show. But
Sting is old school. He will go out on his back.
Okay, well, if he's going to go out on his back, you got to find somebody that's going to do it.
If he doesn't, I got two other names for you. If he doesn't go out on his back, but we'll get the rub from the match, and I think they could do a good build-up. The first one, Powerhouse Hobbs. Because that whole Book of Hobbs thing, as he was building that up, like, man, it started becoming interesting, and I'm like, that could be something. So Powerhouse Hobbs would be the first one. Well, he would technically be the second of the two, but my first one, I would want it to be Miro.
What about Keith Lee?
No, where is Keith Lee right now? Outside of doing surveys in Atlanta.
Wrong Keith Lee.
Way wrong.
About 200 pounds wrong.
I said it once, I say it again. I was pissed as all get out. I'm all
about 200 pounds.
What the hell's Keith Lee? Yeah, he ain't been to restaurants. He ain't saying nothing about him being in Atlanta. And then this other dude show up. Like, who the hell is this? Keith Lee. Man, I'm over there trying to bask in the glory of Keith Lee's reviews, and it ain't even Keith Lee. Like, man, goddamn.
It is Keith Lee. It's just not your Keith Lee.
Yeah, I know. But, I think Miro would do a great job. The promos would be good. And if there was a third person to beat Sting, Miro would be a great person that could, I think, carry that and use it as a badge of honor. Because think about this. Miro is always saying, I'm talking about my God, my God. What if that person that he put on a pedestal was Sting? Can you imagine about 3 months of him cutting promos and then it kind of gets all Bray Wyatt-ish? You know, he starts dropping hints and clues, a bat, a jacket, you know, a crow that he's, you know, talking to. And the next thing, you know, you see him starting to face paint himself and look like Sting. And then, you know, like, I keep praying to you and you don't answer me. Now I'm going to have to come to you myself. That could work. But, you know, wishful thinking. Again, we'll probably get some hate mail for planning Sting's retirement match on, you know, who he will go out on his back for or who we will beat. But, you know, who are we?
All hate mail is welcome.
Yeah. Who are we with people that actually come up with things that they actually use? Thunderdome.
24/7 championships.
Yep, you know. Amongst other things we didn't get paid for.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah, because you know, hey, any and all mail, hate mail, like mail, love mail, whatever. You know, yeah, look, we want all the smoke.
That's fine, but don't have no 10 12 year ago flashbacks and start sending, you know, stuff in the mail that have some powder in it. You know, we don't have no anthrax detectors, so we can't handle that. How was it about 12 years ago, I think?
No, that was over 20. That was like after.
I know Bush was president.
September 11th. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, look, let's not bring up white powder, okay?
White power or white powder?
Powder. You talking about white powder, right?
Yeah.
Let's not bring up white powder. You know, we might get Billy Corrigan, you know, coming in and talking to us too. So let's
I could have swore he said white power. I'm like, we really turned around.
Let's not get Billy Corrigan and the NWA talking about us too. So yeah.
We didn't say anything about, you know, the Sinister Minister doing some crazy stuff out there. I mean,
would you rather?
Not to go off, we going down a rabbit hole a little bit, and it's my fault.
They was just filming a scene from Scarface.
Whatever.
That's all.
They were on the verge of being on television. They signed a contract to be on the CW, and they gave it up for something stupid, unnecessary. They gave it up to WWE.
Yep. And that's funny. The WWE didn't have to take this network like the Nashville network when they took that over from ECW. These dummies gave it to them.
For those that are not aware, let me bring you up to speed.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Don't go there. Not yet. Because, you know, if we're going to touch some forbidden fruit, we might as well go ahead and give you this. There you go. If we're going to touch some That's Just Nubian content, we might as well go ahead and give him the intro. Now you can unmute yourself and go there.
So, but it's on my head. It's on my heart. I got to say something because this was probably the most boneheaded play in a long time when it comes to wrestling. So, the NWA has a pay-per-view last month called Salmon. SAMHAIN. It's supposed to be some kind of cult festival from long time ago. It's for the Halloween themed occult and all this bullshit. Whatever. 15 matches on the card. It seemed to be a pretty good pay-per-view, you know. All of a sudden, they go into this scene, this part of this segment where Father James Mitchell, who a lot of y'all may know as a Sinister Minister from ECW, and then he's been in the in Impact Wrestling as the guardian of the gate of the Shadow Realm, or the Metatron for the All Father of Evil All Father, or whatever. He's in this room, and he's got a whole bunch of other wrestlers and a bunch of extras in the room, and they are consuming a white powder nasally through their nostrils, as if they were snorting cocaine. Now, they had just announced on Busted Open Radio, maybe a couple of weeks prior, that they had signed not one, but 2 contracts with a top 20 television network to have not only NWA Power, their weekly show, but a reality television show that was going to show behind the scenes of the tapings and, other stuff that goes on outside the ring for NWA. They show this thing on the pay-per-view. When the pay-per-view is over, the CW is like, what were y'all thinking? What was that? Why? So they go from almost a guaranteed contract. They're going to be on television as of next fall of 2024. They're going to be on television every week, prime time, for 2 shows, 2 contracts. But then they turn around, they sign a multi-year deal with the WWE to pick up NXT. And they're going to move NWA to their streaming app so you have access to their shows.
In the words of Fred Sanford, you big dummy.
Why? And everybody's speculating who came up with this, who signed off on this. And come to find out, it was Billy Corrigan. He came up with the whole idea. It was his thing. He greenlit it. It was his thing. It was his idea.
I'm going to sabotage my own creation.
Why would you do that?
They're going to Vince McMahon did.
God forgive me, not that bright.
Because you got to think about it. It had to be somebody with some stroke, because not only to have the balls to do it, but the second thing is to continue that segment. Even the commentary team was struggling to be able to make legitimate conversation about it. A quick blip in and blip out, like that's not what they was doing. You can have plausible deniability. You're going to have to go back second by second to try to catch somebody doing one of those.
Hold on.
They were just like tunnel vision as everybody was just doing the line. It was like, oh my God.
And then the rumor comes out that he's gonna cut production. He's gonna start firing wrestlers and whatnot. He comes out in an interview a couple of days ago and says, well, I own 100% of the company. I am the one. All the money is coming out of my pocket. Everybody's saying that I'm losing money, or I need more money, or I don't have enough money to keep this going. I got tours coming up next year that's already booked. I got stadium shows already next year that are already booked. I've got a tour with Green Day that's already booked. Plus the fact I own my masters. I've owned all of my masters since 2001, 2000, whatever. I own all of my music. So if I wanted to get a loan or credit toward my music for future funds or future revenue, I can do that. So I don't have a problem with money. I'm not firing anybody. I'm not, whatever. Okay, cool. That's all cool. But that still doesn't justify what you did. I still not understanding what were you smoking? I mean, I understand Snoop talk about he gonna stop smoking, but you picking up his stash or whatever. I mean, come on. What are you smoking on? Are you snorting? Was that your cocaine that was snorting?
He's trying to dump the ship. It's amazing that one of his flagship wrestlers went over to the WWE and Nick Aldis, and now people making dumb behind decisions. So that's the first thing. Then we got the NWA just out there in the wilderness. All this stuff that's coming up. Now he's talking about firing people. I got a feeling TKO
and he's talking about resurrecting the territory system. Talking about, well, if something happens to a wrestler and we have the territory system, we can plug somebody in from whatever area we're in, and it's all good.
Can't do that because WWE has most of it. If you're gonna resurrect the territory system, you have to systematically have a footprint in at least 2 to 3 major or local indie promotions. Like, we'll just talk about the general region that y'all are in. It had to be MCW. I can't think of the name of it, but one of the big ones in Virginia, and then you can kind of work your way up to New York, New Jersey, because there's so many different wrestling schools and stuff like that. That would be a territory in essence. He started getting big names.
He started in Cincinnati. I think it's either Cincinnati or Cleveland, somewhere in Ohio, and coincidentally, it just so happens to be owned by EC3, his world champion.
So, but if they don't have Al Snow and OVW, then it's not going to be legitimate, because OVW is the biggest one out there right now, and they're doing pretty good. But doing stuff like this, if he was smart, he could take OVW, bring that as a part of it or a subsidiary. He could take Reality of Wrestling with Booker T. So that give him from Ohio to Texas. And then in the middle of that, he can kind of forge a relationship with Women of Wrestling. So that could, give him a nice little funnel for some of their talent that, is on TV. I think it is the CW that WOW is on the weekends. But, I still see WOW more than I've ever seen Ring of Honor. But
the CW is starting to turn into a wrestling network. I mean, they are really picking up a lot of wrestling right now. So it'll be interesting to see what they actually come up with the fall of next year. To see, because they may mess around and get SmackDown, because Fox didn't renew SmackDown.
Let me say this.
It's going to land.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this. You talking about the CW becoming a wrestling network. Now, I'm not sure how it was down in the Carolinas, but before it was the CW here in Maryland, DC, Baltimore area, it was WFTY. That's where we got our consumption. Yeah, before it was the WB, it was WFTY. That's where we got our consumption of wrestling during the week. Anyway, between WDC,
you talking about the WB or the CW?
Well, before it was the WB, it was just WFTY channel 50. Then you had, of course, WBFF and WNUV, WDCA. That's what we got, all of those are CW channels. And, that's where we got all our wrestling from during the week in the 80s and the early 90s. So it's just like it's going back to old school. We got NWA, we got POW and Glow. You got you would get maybe little
AWA late at night, in the middle of the night at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. That's where I would get my infusion of that with the Ganyas and all that stuff, and a couple other territorial shows. Once in a while, you get a nice little thing from Memphis. So they aired a lot.
Yeah, and Raj, WDCA 20. That's what we got. That's where you got WWF. You got Superstars on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon at the Soul Train.
Yep. Plus, you got to think about it. What's the most consistent product during this whole writer strike that never got affected?
Wrestling.
Is all you got to do is say, well, if we're not going to have writers, just go out and cut a promo.
Right.
Or we'll make the promos like 60 seconds. You talk about this really quick, and then you'll have your match. So, it's less overhead. And, the sponsorships, at least from the WWE perspective, are still really good. Fox is just Fox. They spent too much money on the front end trying to outdo USA. And now they're like, hey, we kind of spent too much money, but they want to say, oh, the ad buys weren't that much. Really? When you got the number one storyline and all of professional wrestling on your network, The Rock shows up, he's going to be on your network. People coming back, it's going to happen on your network. All that stuff, all the most promotion between USA and Fox was on the Fox side. They promoted it through football, everything else. You heard WWE a lot versus, Raw, you may see a commercial for it doing Law and Order once in a while, and there you go. But, they just spent too much money, and I don't know what type of return on investment they was thinking about. Or it could be, hey, Vince is gone. That's my boy. And, we're not feeling how y'all treating Vince, so we're going to kind of back out and let y'all figure it out.
Isn't Neo
set up that Fox deal?
Vince looking mighty frail these days.
Yeah, because he's not in the gym. Well, he's not 24/7. Life is caught up to him.
He looked like he got the shakes, man.
He need to be like Hercules to get that porn stash cut off. You may get his superpowers back. No, I'm sorry, Samson, not Hercules, Samson Delilah, yeah.
Walking with a cane and everything. Like, it's odd seeing Vince like that.
Well, technically, he's walked with Kane for a while.
Yeah, he off that juice.
No, no, it's
off that IcoPro. He don't have IcoPro no more. He done ran out after all these years. He had to shut it down, and he got his last scoop.
That IcoPro wore off. That's what it was. That IcoPro, man. You gotta want it. So let's bring it back, to the reason for the season. Because
sorry, folks. I had to get that off my chest. Sorry, folks.
Sumo sent us in the left field, so we got to bring it back to the main part of the diamond and talk about Mox versus Orange Cassidy for the international belt. That I don't understand why we have an international belt, but it exists.
Well, that's the secondary belt. Everybody got to have a secondary belt. So
yeah, so
we'll talk about that a little later.
So Orange Cassidy ended up, retaining. But here's the thing that I'm starting to. When Mox came over, he was breaking out into his own. Getting away from being Dean Ambrose. I'm like, all right, I'm with it. Wild thing. I'm like, all right, we got everything going. But now there's two things. I
can bleed again.
I'm about to sound like Jim Cornette. Every single match, you got to bleed. And every single match, do you have to no-sell a move that is pretty much a finisher? That's all we saw in this match. Once Mox started bleeding, Orange Cassidy, 18 orange punches, no sell. Jumps back up. Yep. Like Raj. Exactly. So I'm starting to get really stale on Mox to the point to where I don't think he could carry the company anymore if it was needed because he's too stale. I mean, am I seeing it wrong?
No.
Well, as far as his bleeding is concerned, I mean, he's probably like Flair right now. You could probably touch it real soft, and that boy will bleed like a pig.
Yep.
So that's that. I mean, I'm sure he's got all kind of scar tissue on his forehead and whatnot to where it don't take much to get him to bleed. But yeah, I mean, he's their go-to. He's John Cena right now.
Don't you put him in that.
He's John. He's their go-to. If something happens and they need a champion real quick, they go to Moxley. They did it to Orange Cassidy, made a Moxley a transitional
At
champion.
least John Cena will sell a move.
Yeah, he would see every now and again he would sell a move, yeah. But he got to get his shit in.
Protecting the finish. He ain't even protecting the finish. How you take 15 orange punches and pop back up?
Because he's John Moxley.
Can't do it, man. I'm sorry.
That's that Tony.
I had to look away. I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. Just let me know when the finish happens because I just couldn't. It was really irking me that this fool kept getting up.
It's like a bag of chips that you left open by accident. It's slowly but surely it went stale because it's the same thing. And Sumo, you kind of you say what I was already thinking. The boy who bleeds more, him or Flair?
Well, Flair bled more.
Shit, in the last couple of years,
it wasn't a Crimson Mask.
I don't know. Moxley, like you said, Flair didn't bleed every match. I mean, he bled a lot, but he didn't bleed every match. Moxley bleeds every match. I'm surprised he doesn't bleed through his promos.
Then he'd be the Sandman. So, that'd be gimmick infringement at that point.
At least with a beer can. I mean, I'm just waiting for Moxley to cut a promo, and he just goes exorcist on somebody. Just got a close up on him, and he's just yelling, and he's yelling so hard, and he's so into it that he just starts bleeding, goes right down his nose and shit. I'm like, come on, man.
That'd be a great promo spot for MJF. Tell Mox, hold on, don't get too worked up. You may bleed on me. That'd be funny. What are you saying?
Oh, it's coming.
But that's a marketing campaign right there.
For what, Band-Aids?
That's a good marketing campaign.
For what, black gloves?
Band-Aids, tampons.
Tampons?
Listen to this dude. I was about to say Britt Baker already got the marketing on that, but he took it somewhere else.
Yeah, he did. I don't know where he's going with that. So if we had to grade this match, I would honestly
next up,
I'd give it a C-. That was this was the lowest match of the night for me. And that's saying something because the next match I thought would be the lowest match. And that was Timeless Tony Storm versus Hikaru Shida.
How dare you?
What?
How dare you? You would think you were putting this as the lowest match of the night before you even watched it? What?
Because we've seen it, and Shida was extremely entertaining. The way they had her booked in the beginning, she was good booked in the beginning. Now she's almost like Rio to me. It's like you're the champion, but I'm not really getting anything out of it. It's not coming across. First of all, why the heck they take the belt off of? Well, actually, I know why. But, if Saraya was healthy and she didn't have any issues that she needed to take care of for, longevity in life and health, she should have still kept the belt. But, putting it on Shida, she's almost like you said with Mox. We had to put the belt on somebody, Shida. But I'm happy Tony Storm won. The only thing that puts this match over top of Mox versus Orange Cassidy, in my opinion, is the fact that the daggone plate would not stay hidden for the finish. So wait a minute. It's the ref clearly looking at your booty and see this plate that is not your booty is like right there in her vision. But yes, you still count the 3. That's when come on. I want to say WWE. Come on, AEW, for reals. Y'all need to call it audible or something.
It's okay. So I'm going on 50 years watching wrestling. I'm telling my age, everybody. I'm going on 50 years watching wrestling. I have never, ever in my life, I've seen loaded gloves. I've seen loaded boots. I've seen loaded headgear. I have never seen a loaded booty. Dusty never came up with a loaded booty.
Well, if he did, it
I want to know. I want to know who produced this damn match.
Truthfully.
I want to know who produced this match and who came up with that, because that was ingenious.
I agree. The problem was her wardrobe. She should have had tights on, or something that was a little bit more covering to make it believable. But
no, but actually, as asinine as it was, you like that, though. You like that. Go ahead and laugh. You like that. As asinine, it actually worked.
I agree. Like I said,
just the fact that she was
above Mox and Orange.
She was struggling with it, and the fact that it wouldn't stay in her tights, and it got to the point where she left the ring after the match. She left the ring halfway up the ramp. Then she decided to pull it out and give it to Luther to hide it. But that's part of her gimmick, though. It's just part of her gimmick, and it worked because it's Toni Storm. It's that gimmick.
I think this was a smart play to put the belt on her. This timeless character, I think we could really get something out of that. And she's playing it well, so I thought it was smart to do it. I just thought it was funny that it was just in plain sight. But basically, then we have to say, hey, Aubrey, why are you staring at her booty to be able to catch that? So I guess it kind of gives that plausible deniability. Like, I'm not looking at the girl's, crack. I'm over here trying to see if the shoulders are on the mat. So, you can kind of play it off, but it was just funny. It's like, it's right there in your face. How do you not see this foreign object? So, I don't know. KG, did you get a chance to catch some of that one? Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida.
I peeked in. Here's the thing. Are we looking at the same Toni Storm that we're used to? Honestly,
that's a loaded question, because she's about 100 pounds or close, maybe 50, 60 pounds of waist away from the Toni Storm we're used to.
Yeah, she lost all that booty and left it for Nikita Lyons in NXT.
Nah, she lost it all and left it for Sky Blue. That's
no. She lost all that weight before she got to AEW, so she left it in WWE.
No, she lost it in AEW when she married the dude from the Bullet Club Gold. Huh?
Juice Robinson.
Yeah. No, it's not. She's not married to Juice. She's married to the other one.
No, she's married to Juice.
Are you sure it's Juice?
It's Juice.
Yeah, Juice. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Switchblade in my head. Yeah.
No, Switchblade. Yeah, if he's around anybody, don't nobody know who it is.
No, when she married Juice, then that's when she started cutting to that level. And remember, we talked about it on the show, because she was Toni Storm when she came in, when she was part of with the Riot and all that stuff. And
that's
then
true.
Next thing you know, you blink like, wait, what the heck? Tony, you leave something behind? Literally? See, I can get one in too.
Yeah. That was a good one. I give you that one. That was a good one.
But like I said, that plate spot was just funny to me. I will give Sheeta credit though. She has become more and more American, because she has also, I guess, pulled up to the Toni Storm buffet, like, oh, you giving some away? I'll take some of that. So she kind of acquired a little bit. Like, wait a minute, Sheeta, hold on now. That outfit's looking a little interesting tonight. I give her some props on that. Like, you go, girl. You do your thing. So
her IG page has been blowing up a little bit.
Yeah, I know. She spent a little too much time in America. She going in reverse of Io Sky or Shirai. Io came over all, looking all humble. Next thing you know, you see a picture like, what the heck is that? Oh, snap, Io. Hello. You was doing some things over there in Japan.
She might have a little OnlyFans going over there too.
I don't know. We all know who the reigning champion of OnlyFans is, and it is not Mandy Sachs. You know who it is, right, KG?
I'm not
is it?
touching.
Huh?
I'm not
Who is
touching.
it?
Come on, James.
Who's taking the reins from Mandy?
Lacey Evans.
Yeah, she
Mandy
trying.
Sachs ain't never had the OnlyFans title. Let's just put it there.
Lacey Evans went from Mandy at least worked her way to 60. Lacey was like, "Oh, I'm done. Let me just go ahead and hit 60." Like, well, like, holy moly. If I'm gonna go ahead and advertise, let's just go ahead and put that out there right now. Yeah. Again, you guys got to stop going over the left field. You know, I guess this is 1 o'clock in the morning, so we really after dark. I apologize for everybody that is watching this and wondering why are these guys gone so crazy so quick. They at least have a normal buildup, but unfortunately, at 1 o'clock in the morning, we don't even know what the hell we talking about. So you lucky we actually coherent right now.
Well, for now.
Yeah, for real. So coming out of Thomas Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida, we had the 4-way ladder match for the AEW Tag Team Championships. House of Black was Malachi Black and Brody Lee. James's group, I'm gonna let you say it because I'll butcher it.
La Facción Ingobernable.
No De Japón.
No De Japón.
I know. I want you to at least say the rest, say the whole thing.
It's not the same.
It's not them, but man,
It's not
the stank on it. See, I can't even get that. But either way,
man.
the faction was Rush and Dralistico, FTR, and the current champions, Ricky Starks, and I still think this is just the dumbest, obvious name ever, Big Bill. Like we could have figured out something a little bit better than that. Not too bad of a ladder match. It was pretty entertaining. A lot of good spots. Some unnecessary things were done. Like you really didn't have to go all that way. But I was still entertained from bell to bell. Ricky Starks and Big Bill end up winning. It was actually a good finish. It made sense, you know, considering that all the chaos and stuff that was happening about how Ricky Starks ended up getting the belt off of the thing that was holding them made sense. So that made it to me a good payoff for a ladder match when, you know, the person pulling off the belt grabs the belt in a way that makes sense instead of them trying to do something extra and then you just grab the belt and it just seems anticlimactic. So I'm sorry, we have to roll back. Tony Storm versus Shida, I'll give a B for booty and booty plate. So just wanted to roll that back. I went the people watching were like, wait a minute, they didn't grade the other match.
I'm gonna give Shida and Storm A minus, even though there was no minus of the A, if you know what I mean.
KG,
I'm just gonna give it an A and leave it alone, man. Because
that was at least 2 booty puns out of that one.
You won't get a third. I'm wholesome tonight.
Come on, no, don't be wholesome. Come on, we needed you for the trifecta, man. Come on.
we got the booty warrior.
Oh, don't you bring that up? Hold on. Oh, don't you? Woo,
don't
you go there.
Hold on now. The booty warrior, really?
Yeah,
I like you and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice.
But you
that's all Don can focus on. That's all the people choice can focus on is being the booty warrior tonight.
I'm just tripping at the fact that this fool is free. Out of jail.
No comment.
Sorry.
Next up.
The interview with Dateline just started going back in my head. Like, I won't even mention it on the show because it's just too. Just watch it, look it up. But man, that interview. I could have got your cameraman if I wanted to back in the day. Like, oh my God. Like I'm good with the murderers over here, but the booty warrior, I can't interview that dude no more.
I know who you are, Chris Handsome. But I call you Chris Handsome.
Handsome. Don't matter about everybody out there. I'm gonna get what I want.
Whew. Next.
I don't care about the out there.
See, this is what happens when you go on after 12 o'clock. What little bit
and
of
plus, us haven't been together in a while, so we time here. So yeah.
The only thing worse than that makes me mark out and I just bust out laughing is that daggone Beetlejuice. To keep it wrestling themed, when freaking Jeff Jarrett hit Beetlejuice with the guitar, man, that was one of the funniest things I ever seen.
Slap nuts. Slap nuts.
But I'll never forget the first time. Remember back in the day too on the CW, I believe it was, you would see Howard Stern come on late at night.
Yes, every Saturday night.
Yep. And then he came on there like, oh, Beetlejuice gonna be on coming up. And I'm like, Beetlejuice? Oh man, Michael Keaton gonna be on. They're doing another movie. And then I see this. Oh God, it's already there. I see this fool Beetlejuice.
See, the funny part about it, during that era, you had everything you needed. Because you got Showtime at the Apollo, Apollo Comedy Hour, and then you got Howard Stern. Then you got Shotgun Saturday Night after that. You had everything you needed right then and there.
Beetlejuice. All right, I'm trying to get there. I'm sorry. Just mental pictures, man. I swear to God. Oh boy,
I'm trying to hold it together, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to hold this dude together.
We're gonna have to play a clip from some Beetlejuice one day, just because. Oh man! So if I had to grade the daggone ladder match, I was happy that Starks and Big Bill won. I'd give it about a B. Like I said, it was fairly entertaining. So KG, what's your thoughts? Oh man, damn Beetle brought a tear to my eye, boy. I swear.
I bet it did. I'll give it a B. B plus.
I say B minus. I say B minus, close to C. I mean, it was good, but it was all right.
Pretty good for the trend of AEW right now. I'd say, considering they're holding it about a solid B thus far into the show, and that's been a long time already, and still holding that. And then we had for the TBS Championship, Julia Hart versus Chris Statlander versus Sky Blue. Surprisingly, and this is really weird to say, I know Brian Last and maybe Jim Cornette may still not give it its due, but I thought that this was one of the best paced women's matches that they have done in AEW, period. It was back-to-back spots. There was no setup to where somebody waited for the next move so the person could get there to be able to complete the move. So I wasn't sitting there like, what the heck are you doing? It was motion after motion after motion. To give the throwback to KG, this was akin to me to No Mercy, and how the chain wrestling was in No Mercy back on the 64, where you could just hit a move after a move after a move. It was, not to sound sexist, but it was almost at the level of watching the men wrestle. So I'm like, oh man, this is actually pretty good movement. Great story being told. Julia Hart got the win. I'm okay with that. That gives Statlander something to chase. That gives, somebody else an opportunity of a different size. So the legit Layla Hirsch's, the Red Velvets, Sky Blue, and others actually have somebody they can wrestle at a size. So it kind of makes some sense for the new talent that they're bringing in. Even at this point, Ruby Soho has a lane to become champion if she wanted to wrestle, because you could legitimately see her beating Julia Hart. And, it would seem like a good match because they have the similar body structure and type to be able to make it look good. But I give this an A because, like I said, this was arguably one of the best women's wrestling matches that I've seen on AEW, period, from day one.
Now, do you think that since they've brought in their newest acquisition, that she'll keep that belt long?
I think she'll have it at least, if I had to give her something, 3 months. Only because she'll be protected by the House of Black.
And for those of you who do not know who the new acquisition is, a couple of nights before this pay-per-view, I think it was, what's today, Saturday?
Thursday?
I think it was Thursday. There was the debut at a TV taping of Ronda Rousey in a tag team match with Marina Shafir.
Which made sense to me because that's her girl.
So they're saying that Ronda Rousey has a handshake deal with Tony Khan. She's not all elite yet. It could happen. She's following in the footsteps of a lot of wrestlers that are under the guidance and contractual magic of Barry Bloom, who also represents Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and a few others.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be bringing in a whole bunch of his people into AEW, and it's already been speculated that another person under Barry Bloom's guidance is on their way to AEW, which I really hope does not happen.
Who might that be? Yeah, I heard that too. If it happens in Tony Khan's mind, he's going to give us a crown jewel moment. He's going to have him go up against Sting. That's why I didn't want to bring that up, because I didn't want that to be anywhere remotely in the minutia of Sting's last match. But
yeah, I hope not.
We know fanboy Tony Khan want to play with the new action figure. Why would he not want to do a Goldberg action figure that he pays a lot of money to be able to wrestle Sting, just to rub it in that you got two WCW legacies on the old WCW network? I hope not. Nothing against Goldberg. I just don't want it in that situation. Goldberg
We don't
show up.
No,
but not in that situation.
No. For the love of God, no. Please stop. Goldberg versus Sting is not a money draw. That's not something anybody wants to see. No. And if you want to see it, okay, but nobody wants to see that. Goldberg hasn't looked like Goldberg in about 12 years.
He's looking more like Gilbert.
But he's still an attraction. People, he'll get an initial pop. He'll be like Edge. It'd be something, a new something that's there. But if Goldberg comes and he does the John Cena thing, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to beat a couple people here. I'm going to put somebody over there, give back. Then I'm cool with that. But if it's just, Goldberg, like I would love to see Goldberg versus Powerhouse Hobbs. And then Goldberg put over Hobbs after a long program. I'd love to see Goldberg versus Miro. They could have a nice, rubber match situation back and forth between the two. That would be something really good. But if you have, Murder Hawk beat Goldberg just out of the blue for no reason, that wouldn't make sense. I would put, Goldberg over him. I wouldn't put Goldberg with Big Bill. That wouldn't make sense. I wouldn't put Goldberg with Brody Lee. That wouldn't make sense. It'd be unnecessary. It'd have to be something that makes sense for the situation. I'd put Goldberg versus Christian and have Christian go over just because it's Christian. I would have Goldberg go against, MJF and MJF takes a spear, but he calls the old school because it's MJF's thing, and he has a plate under his shirt, and he probably wearing a Goldberg shirt or jersey. So Goldberg does a spear, hits the plate. It's a callback to the something that happened, or Christian can do it under the turtleneck. Just different things like that. That would be kind of entertaining just to see.
They can have a match. They can have a match during Yom Kippur.
What? MJF could cut a promo to that because Paul Heyman's not averse to calling out his Jewishness for the right situation, or John Cena's theme song like he did on SmackDown for the second time, which is still equally as funny no matter when he does it.
Well, yeah. It's nice to see Julia get that belt. I'm sure they can do it with that belt, especially with the way they've been pushing her. But we'll just have to see what happens, how long they keep it on her. I don't know if they're gonna still keep Brody King with her. Nice if they did, kind of like you said. But we'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah, I know. Just hit me. I've been saying Brody Lee. I still got him on the mind. I was looking at the AEW theme songs just to see which ones are out there because periodically I just like to check. And I saw Brody Lee's theme song and got him on the mind. You're right, it's Brody King. I said a couple Floridian slips there a couple times, but there's only one.
I don't think nobody minds.
Say it again.
I don't think anybody minds it.
Hey, got to keep his name out there. Got to keep Bray Wyatt's name out there, especially since they just did the Legacy Collection. I hope that some of those funds are going towards JoJo and Bray's family because that'd be the right thing to do.
You're supposed to.
We'll see, but I'll support it if that's where it's going. Lord knows. But like I said, I give it an A just because of that. That may cause some people hating, but I think it was a really good match.
Was your surprise match of the night?
Nope. The next one is.
Hold on, wait.
What?
Raj said Goldberg not doing a lot of jobbing. Goldberg not going to do nothing like that.
Goldberg going to take the check and he's going to do some job. I'm telling you. He's older now. He gets it.
Yeah,
he's been
but
around.
I see the problem with Goldberg. If Goldberg would have never kicked Bret Hart in the head.
I wouldn't even put that on Goldberg because they put him in a situation and they knew he was super green. A. B, if they would have never had that Blue Blazer situation, rest in peace, Owen, then we wouldn't have the Goldberg situation with Bret Hart. That's the catalyst right there. Everything fell to the wayside after that. That paved the road. That was just, broken heart, pun intended. And then, poor decisions and a screw job and everything else all fell out right after that. And, it's just never been the same since. So I always attributed to that was something that, and then I'm quite sure watching Sting come down was another mind screw over. And, it was like this dude popping down every goddamn Monday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday, maybe twice on Sunday. No issues. What happened over there? My brother had to be gone. So I've been even more pissed at WCW. But, that's besides the point. But my surprise, and by surprise, I mean I only really wanted to watch it for one reason only, because you know what I'm saying. Prince Nana, I wanted to see the swerve dance. That's it. But man, me and all my kids were just marking out at every daggone spot. Every time, the amount of blood that Swerve was bleeding when Hangman. And obviously, I'm talking about the Texas Death Match between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. But, when Hangman was drinking a man's blood, the staple gun, I mean, this match was everything. That was the match that brought everybody back to life to the point that where, people like, holy hell. If we would have put Moxley in this situation, he would have known what to do it himself. Because he couldn't handle the amount of brutality. And it wasn't over the top, but it was over the top. It was just like, man, that if you're going to hear Texas Death Match, that is a prime example of a Texas Death Match. That's history was made, in my opinion. That is arguably, and James, you're a historian. You've been around for a while. You can tell us in a second if where this lives in the pantheon of Texas Death Matches. But this was a work of art. A+++++. It was long as hell, but God dang, I never got bored. I'll turn it over to the Sumo to give us his thoughts. See, not the only one thinking it.
They made the comment during the match that I think it was Excalibur, said this was probably the best Texas death match he'd ever seen in wrestling. And as soon as he said that, it made me think, okay, Dusty, Blackjack Mulligan, Dick Murdoch, Terry Funk, Dick Slater. I mean, Cactus Jack. You know, you got all these death match, Texas death match, bull rope, woods matches, all that fall along the same lines. Definitely the best extreme match in AEW history. That's why I put that. Where does it stand in the pantheon of Texas death matches? I could make an argument. I really could. I could make an argument top 5, that match being up there.
Yeah.
Tonight, I can agree. That was definitely my match of the night. There was another match we're going to talk about later that tried to come close, but it just didn't make it. This one was definitely match of the night for me as well.
See, and you were sitting there where you probably thought it was going to be something crazy, but nope.
Well, I thought you were going to give it to the 3-way girls match.
No, I mean, that was good, but no, that just came out of nowhere. And the problem, I think, if that was the main event, then it'd be smooth. But the fact that there was 2 matches after that, they burnt the crowd out. Everybody was blown up.
And the fact that it was long, like it was, it needed to be.
Yep. And
it needed to be that.
No cells. The counts made sense. You know, the Prince Nana getting involved and helping out, which elongated it, made sense. You know, this was, in my opinion, Swerve's Becky Lynch moment, or Swerve's, Stone Cold Crimson Mask versus Bret Hart moment. And it brought life back to Hangman Page, to who me, stale. Like, I didn't see any more out of Adam Page. That's why I wasn't expecting it. I'm like, I don't even care. They still dragging out this daggone thing. We talked about it. Like, why is this storyline? They popping up in people's houses and, doing all that. It's just too much. Didn't make sense. I didn't see a payout. I didn't want it. And then I watched it. I'm like, okay, I could go one more if we were to go one more from this. Don't know what it would be, but I could go one more. Because it was just that good. Like I said, now I'm back to being a fan of Hangman Adam Page, because, man,
it would have to be something. It would have to be something in a cage. Nope,
I wouldn't do that. I would take it traditional. I don't remember. There's a particular terminology that they called it, where it's just a strict wrestler match. You don't get out the ring, and you just wrestle for that, particular time period, because that would kind of level everything that Swerve was doing and all that stuff out. You just in the 20x20, and you're going to wrestle until there's a winner. I think the last person that was in a match like that was Bryan Danielson, but I can't remember exactly what they coined it for that.
What, the Iron Man match?
I don't think it was an Iron Man. I think it was just a match. It was him versus somebody. And they just wrestled in the ring. There was no rollouts and, you know, all this other stuff, rope breaks. They just wrestled, old style wrestle, until that was a 1, 2, 3. Because to Hangman's credit, all he got to say is, you beat me because of everything. You choked me out, but it was legal. But you hanged me. You hung me. You know, that's the only way you could beat me. But you can't beat me inside the square circle wrestling, actually doing the job. That would also help catapult Swerve to a whole nother level of showing that he's a strong wrestler. So then you could take Swerve and then take that program and that with Hangman and go over there to Bryan Danielson. You could go over there to Claudio. You could go over there and he can help make Wheeler Yuta. You know, he could do a lot more showing that he can wrestle in addition to, you know, some of the other high spots and all that stuff that he's known for that brought him to AEW. But both guys, phenomenal. I could watch that match again. It's you know, something I could watch over and over, like, you know, Undertaker versus Mankind, Hell in a Cell. I could just watch it, you know, but man, I wish y'all could have been here. My kids, we just sit there like, oh my God, you know, just freaking out, screaming every time we saw something. You know, the staple gun. I was like, there's no real staples in there. I'm like, nope, yeah, they are. When he's stapling in his mouth, I'm like, God dang. It's worse.
Now you gotta realize, and a lot of people don't seem to notice unless they've actually followed him. But Swerve Strickland is known for his deathmatch prowess. I mean, the man was a former CZW world champion. And the match that and if you notice, a lot of those things that happened during this match tonight were callbacks to the Lucha Underground match that he had when he was wrestling this kill shot against AR Fox.
I didn't even think about that. Yep.
The glass, when he pulled out the glass, that was back to that match. The barbed wire board, even though that's used a lot, that's a callback to that match. It's a lot of callbacks to that particular match that they pulled out for that for tonight. So that's part of what made me enjoy it a lot as well. So
yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't even think about putting that comparison together. Good call out. That's why we got you over here bringing the history. KG, what's your thoughts on at least our main event, top match of the night?
This match, let me tell you how this match transcends. You have pages on Instagram, the Hip Hop Wire. Hip Hop on the Wire, the DMV Daily, Insight Daily. You have Only DMV. You got pages all over Instagram talking about this. Talking about, Swerve's from the area, so. But you got other pages that don't normally cover wrestling talking about this match. You know, it basically got the people going. You know? This is
Swerve is from here?
I believe.
I think he's from Washington State.
I want to say he
State. He wrestled a lot in MCW. He did wrestle a lot in MCW.
He got foots here. He is from he's from Tacoma, Washington.
Right.
But you said he wrestled here, so he has some foots here.
Yeah, he had some mumbo sauce and some crab cakes, I'm quite sure.
Yeah, because I could have sworn he was from Baltimore, but I might be thinking of somebody else.
Right, like you said, he was just there a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrestled a good while in MCW. I think he was their champion for a while too.
Yeah.
Now, I do remember
he
that.
had a strong run. So, probably easy to believe as long as he was there.
Yeah. And
and I believe he wrestled some in what's that organization in Waldorf that Fight Pro? the one that had the Pan African World Diaspora Championship.
Yeah.
He wrestled with them too for a while.
Now, if the CW want to pick up a reality show, MCW, hint, hint, would be great. A lot
Most
of lineage,
definitely.
a lot of people have come through there. It's basically the OVW and FCW of our time, without it being officially on that level and being curated by WWE. So hint, hint.
Here's the problem with MCW. I don't know. I haven't seen many promos because they normally get all the big stars to come out for shows. Like I remember one year they had back-to-back months. They had Flair. They had the Four Horsemen for 1 month. Then they had Bret Hart and all. It was like 4 months in a row. They had all these people, and I was working at night at the time. I could not get off to go see them. And I put my manager at the time onto it. Big wrestling fan, put him onto it. And he was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Next time it's a big show, we need to call out Sid so we can go on Friday night. I said, bet. Let's go. They haven't had a big show like that in quite some time. But MCW is the... MCW has to be one of the best independent companies out there right now.
It is.
That's been running for a long time.
AEW is actually pulling from them too, because that's where Action Andretti came from.
Yep.
Action Andretti was first came in. So
yeah, Mickie James just got finished doing her first ever training class out there for the women. So, she could become a regular out there by doing several training classes. So, like I said, a lot of longevity in history. So that'd be something I would watch. And, CW goes hand in hand. It would just make sense. So following what arguably, and not really arguably because we know it was match of the night, we had to go from there to, it wasn't a bad match. I'd say it was about a B. The Golden Jets, Jericho and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks. Good match, but the crowd was just gassed. I mean, that match should have went before the Swerve Hangman match. I'm sorry. So the amount of emotional investment that they were really looking to get from the payout perspective just wasn't there. People were tired. But the match was still relatively good. The finish, we knew how it would go, being Jericho and Orange Cassidy. So they got the win. Young Bucks going around being a little, temper tantrum. I'm sorry, Jericho and Kenny Omega. I'm sorry. And then the Young Bucks were just going around being, spoiled brats at the end. There you go. Not too much to talk about it. Like I said, I give it a solid B. It was all right. Still better than, Mox versus Orange Cassidy. Is why I had Orange Cassidy on the brain on that one. But, yeah, it was all right. What you guys think?
Raj say he agrees. I say snooze fest.
Yeah, it was.
Kenny looked good. He didn't look tired. He looked well rested. He was getting his spots off. The Snapdragon looked good. The Young Bucks doing some of Kenny's moves, the One Wing Angel, and Jericho doing a super kick. It had some good play in it, some give and take. That's why, like I said, I gave it a B because, they had some stuff that was entertaining if you was actually just watching it. It's just that the crowd wasn't into it. So the high spots didn't seem that high. But everybody got their thing off.
Yeah, plus they probably put that right there, after having that Swerve and Page match, bring everybody back down to bring them right back up again toward the end.
Yeah. I guess as long as everybody got off, it's all good.
That's what she said.
Everybody got their shit in. So yeah.
That's what she said. So then we come to the main event of the evening. What at this point was looking to be Adam Cole. Really, KG? You have one job.
I'm sorry.
Job. Go try it again. At this point, we have Adam Cole,
baby,
versus Jay White for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, only to discover that Maxwell Jacob Freeman somehow hijacked the ambulance that he was in and drove it all the way back to be able to come out for the match amidst everybody saying don't come out, and then he's back in. So we're going with the storyline of the Wounded Warrior up against the healthy Shark and see how it plays out. I think the match was longer than it needed to be. Once we saw that MJF could weather the storm of a chop block and some direct hits and a run-in from the Gun Club, at this point, it's like, yeah, all right, finish him, MJF. We know you're going to win this. We need to stretch it out so long that it actually became a full match. Now, the only thing that would have – say it again?
They had to stretch it to 12 o'clock. I mean, it is Tony Khan.
Yeah. The only thing that would have given me a solid payout at the end, since, you know, they stretched it so long, is if Adam Cole turned on MJF with the crutches. I know he's injured and he wouldn't be able to come back. But when it seemed like as MJF was walking up and he had his back turned to Adam Cole, that would have been the moment. Because Adam Cole would have been mad that he had a chance to become world champion in beating Jay White allegedly, but MJF showed back up and took that opportunity from him. Just planted the seed. When I come back, you better be champion in 2020, in my opinion, because we know it's coming.
Yeah, but they want to do that with a healthy Adam Cole. Plus the fact he's still under concussion protocol, and he just came off of surgery on that leg, so they wasn't going to do too much with him. If they were going to do that, if they were going to do something like that, they would have done it when Jay White got the belt and hit MJF with it, or when Jay White got a hold of the Dynamite Diamond.
But yeah, but that would have been expected. For those that was like, I think Adam Cole going to do something because why is he there? You know, you pass by that, but then you do it at the end. Because what I would think would be the smart play is you got Adam Cole. We get Bobby Fish. We get, we got
Bobby
Strong.
AEW.
Huh?
Bobby Fish is not coming back to AEW, and he's already said so.
Yeah, but everybody says things. Everybody says things, and then they end up doing things they didn't say. And then what was the other one? Bobby Fischer, the one that always played the air guitar.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yep. I would bring them back in and have the full Undisputed Era there. And then, you know, we'll figure out what happens with MJF in 2024 at that point.
Now, what's going to end up happening is he's going to end up with Roderick Strong in the Kingdom.
No, Adam Cole?
Yeah. He's going to end up with Roderick Strong, former Undisputed Era, and the Kingdom, of which Adam Cole was an original member of the Kingdom in Ring of Honor.
But why would he go back to the club? He could go Bullet Club too.
He got kicked out of Bullet Club. He got kicked out of Bullet Club before Jay White entered Bullet Club. So they don't really have that Bullet Club, you know, it's not like in WWE where Anderson and Gallows can go to either AJ Styles or Finn Balor,
right,
and form the club. because they were in the Bullet Club. They were both with the Bullet Club with both of AJ Styles and with Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, yeah.
So like I said, Adam Cole is one of the few that actually got kicked out, like jumped out of the Bullet Club. So when he got kicked out, he got kicked out. When AJ Styles got kicked out, he got kicked out. Finn Balor just left. He's actually still Bullet Club because he's the original. He's the one who formed Bullet Club.
Bobby Johnson.
Anderson just left. They were never kicked out of the Bullet Club. So, but Adam Cole was actually jumped out when Kenny Omega brought in who was it? Marty Scurll.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, Tony's got to do something, because I don't know if you guys saw the ratings of this past week, where I believe it was SmackDown versus Collision.
Oh, it wasn't a contest.
Yeah, 2.2 million views on the WWE side, 225 or 222,000 for AEW. Just let that sink in. The only one of the other positive things about this pay-per-view is that they could actually pan around and the arena looked full. They didn't claim a sold out, but it looked pretty doggone good. It's like finally they could do a crane shot and not show empty seats or empty sections. So that was another feather in their cap today, just to show something. But unfortunately, Tony's got to do something. We talked about it before, because next week is Survivor Series. And then once we hit Survivor Series, one of the most important things in wrestling, sports entertainment, wrestling, whatever you want to call it, happens. That WrestleMania sign goes up in the back half of the arenas or the stadiums, wherever it is. And once that goes up, the road to WrestleMania is officially underway, and he's going to drown, and there's nothing he can do about it other than bring in more WWE old people that just got let go. And unfortunately, Mandy Rose does not have the wrestling bug, so we can't dig her. Lacey Evans don't want to wrestle at this moment because she's making a lot of money doing her thing. You could do something with the Nemeth boys. So you could get Dolph, maybe. Who else?
Well, Dolph isn't going to be able to be available until right around Christmas time. I think it's his 90 days ends December.
That's still the road to WrestleMania. So, that's still time for him to just pop up and start doing stuff. But if he doesn't have things in play, getting Will Ospreay, great. Can't use Will Ospreay that much, not great. So
can't use him really at all.
Yeah. So that's not helping you.
His contract. So with New Japan, and with Wrestle Kingdom coming up.
Yep.
And they pushing Wrestle Kingdom, and he's got this push for this 3-way match that they're having with him, John Moxley, and David Finlay.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline behind that is the fact that David Finlay destroyed both of the IWGP US and UK championship belts. So now it's either they're going to put up another United States title belt, create a new belt, or reinstate the Intercontinental belt that was merged with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship that created the world title that they have now.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't said exactly what they're going to do yet. They're probably going to wait until Wrestle Kingdom to actually say what they're going to do. On the website, it's saying that he's defending the U.S. Championship, but I'm thinking that they're going to reinstate the Intercontinental belt, put it on Will Ospreay, and then that keeps that alliance with New Japan and AEW going, and he could probably go back and forth with that for a little while.
Yeah,
I don't think
but I'm
they're
not
gonna make
mad at
him.
going there.
I don't think they're gonna make him exclusive to AEW. I don't think they would. That would
Yeah,
be a
not
smart.
until August of next year, once he's
Right.
done, like he said. So, but again, that's great that they were able to land him. It made sense for his contractual commitments. Because if he would have went to WWE and they would have let him do those contractual commitments, KG would have been mad because we got another Brock Lesnar. So that saved the wrath of KG, but again, doesn't solve the Tony Khan problem that he doesn't have enough tools in the shed to be able to build the wall strong enough to withhold WrestleMania, and this being the first WrestleMania under TKO. So they're going to leverage, they're going to pull out every gun. Speaking of, pulling out heavy artillery, the heavy rumor that is coming up this Monday or this Friday, potentially, as Randy Orton will be back and will be in the War Games. So if we get RKO back, that's a whole nother level of just top tier potential that'll be on WWE programming. It's not good for AEW right now. So they did make a couple smart moves, like we said.
But
Julia Hart.
AEW is doing something though. They are doing something. Remember, they got the Continental Tournament coming up.
Come on, man. Even Eddie Kingston cut me a strong enough promo to make me want to watch that. Sorry, Mad King. I wouldn't.
And it comes with a Continental Championship. Now you were talking about why do they have the international belt? Why are they coming up with a Continental Championship? Where's that coming from? Why is that? Why is that? What's that going to be?
I don't know.
Is that television championship? I mean, I thought that's what the international belt was.
Yep. I don't know. Again, that's a Tony Khan special.
He did say he had a whole bunch of belts made that's just sitting in his office, just waiting to be used. So, I mean, if he was going to put together a new championship, why not put together a women's tag title?
Because you don't have enough women.
Actually, he does.
Well, if he combined those that are in Ring of Honor with
that's what I'm saying.
Then
that's what I'm saying.
But he's trying to keep ROH separate.
Not really. He's trying, but it's not working.
Well, because he has no choice but to pull over other people. Because he don't have.
That's why Jay White on the pro was on
the simple fact that you let that statement come out of your mouth, I'm disappointed in you.
In who?
You.
What?
He doesn't have enough women? No, they don't use their women right.
No, you really doesn't have enough women.
You have the door open between AEW and Ring of Honor. You got the door open. You got the door open in Impact. You got more than enough to do what you need to do. They just don't do it. The writers, the producers, whoever you want to blame it on. You can blame it on Shad Khan, Tony Khan, Genghis Khan. I don't care. But you just don't do it right.
Well, we've been talking about that for a while, though.
It writes itself.
They got a chance to press the reset button with Julia because you don't have a juggernaut in Jade Cargill who's going to beat Jade because she's taller, more muscular. She looked like she's going to destroy him. Chris Statlander is kind of in the middle. But then everybody else, the only other major threat would be Nyla Rose, but we don't see her that often. So you got Statlander, Nyla Rose. If you take those two out, everybody is in fair size. You could actually do something now. Like I said, if Ruby Soho has a clear, legitimate, understandable path to the championship or a championship at this point, just because the size balance means we're going to have better matches. Have better matches, you have more interest, then you could bring stuff in. But they need to bring more women in and, really build them up and take advantage of all the people that they let go or wasted, not doing that again. because I still think Swole was a great character. I still think, and I'll say it multiple times, there's ever anybody close to the Mystique, at least during the initial run of The Undertaker, it was Abaddon. That character could have been curated right. Man, her versus Jade Cargill would have been through the roof because you could have built that up like Boogeyman versus Booker T. You could have had all kind of crazy stuff there, which would have helped Jade Cargill and her range for her promos, backstage segments, and everything else. So that way, you know, she'll be even more valuable in the WWE at this point because Lord only knows when they're going to inject and use her. So, you know, it'd be nice if she was in the Women's Survivor Series match. That would be a smart first match for her to go into. But, you know, that's just me thinking. And then I just noticed that KG telling me to wrap this up, B. So, you know, it is almost 2:00 in the morning on a Sunday. So, hey, congratulations. Welcome to the Sunday Rise. If some of the players look the same and some look different, sorry, but it is Sunday. So we will now talk about what Mama said. And Mama said that we cannot play that foosball with Mr. Coach Klein. Foosball is the devil. But come 12 noon tomorrow or this afternoon, it won't be the devil no more. Final thoughts, Sumo? You want to talk about your Devils to Carolina Panthers? It is the Sunday Rise, you know. Welcome.
No, well, I got nothing to say about my Carolina Panthers.
KG,
we don't even have enough
about your Commanders
this year, so you know what's the point? What's the point?
KG, you want to talk about your Commanders?
I know we better not look like no fools against the Giants tomorrow or later on.
Go ahead and do the unthinkable. Won't let me do it. I was trying to convert over since, you know, like I said, we are doing a Sunday Rise. So
see,
it is
if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. See, when you're talking about the Commanders, you got to do it right.
Anybody got time for that? Ain't got time for that.
Oh God.
Anybody got time for that? But we'll just do this one. There you go. A little OG Tecmo Bowl right there, even though we all know who the best person to pick is. So
don't play Bo Jackson.
Oh no. Bo
I don't know anything about video games, but I do know you don't play the Los Angeles Raiders on Tecmo Bowl.
Raiders. Well, dropping our controller. We know how this is going to go. Bo knows cheat codes.
Man.
So all I got to say is it's morning time. Good morning. We normally talk about diversifying bonds and wrapping that up and all this stuff, but it's early as crap in the morning. So hello. Black Friday week. It's going to be a lot of moving and shaking. Make sure you get your good shopping going and be safe out there. Watch a little bit of foosball later on today and then start rolling into thinking about turkey and everything else. So instead of our normal send-off, everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Spend some time with your families.
Listen to the Andre 3000 album.
Yep.
Absolute fire.
That will relax you. If you are in Atlanta, call first to see if they're doing to go and take out. If not, don't just show up because you may see Mia Yim and Keith Lee out there, and it could be something. Just had to throw that out there. So enjoy your turkey, your cranberries, your tofu, whatever you like for Thanksgiving with your families. From the Wrestlemaniacs, happy upcoming Thanksgiving. KG, you got anything?
I will see you all in a couple of hours on the Sunday Rise with the Boss BJ and the Midnight Rider.
The second Sunday Rise.
Yeah, the second.
We're already there.
So,
we done you now. No homo.
That's good enough. Can we go home? Let's go home. Let's go home.
One day we're gonna get hemmed up by standard and practices. I'm telling you. They're like, you guys, you got to stop kind of putting that toe over the line. Or we get the bleep button. Sam Jackson episode is coming, by the way. Just be prepared. I don't know what's going to spark it, but it's coming. Sumo?
Yeah, I could have sparked it with that NWA crap, but no, I refrained.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I held back.
They didn't, clearly. So we're not going to do any overtime because we didn't give you about almost 2 hours of our time. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Look forward to catching us on reruns. Actually, KG, tell them where they can see us. It's been a while.
Well, of course, new platform, Clear Productions, DMV.com. You can always see the Wrestlemaniacs there. You can listen to us on any streaming platform from Apple Podcasts to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podtail, Owltail, Whotail. You can see us on Facebook, Facebook and Twitch and YouTube. You can see these faces all across the platform. So no excuses not to join us.
There you go. And just because we want the haters to go ahead and send us some mail, I'm going to just say this one thing and tell you what you can do with yourself. Killer Bees are the greatest tag team of all time.
Sideline Junkies.